Here's Bunny D. Where does yesterday's future land? When it finally shakes your hand, right at the edge of a brand new screen. Blink once and you know what I mean. Technology revolution.
The teacher to say technology these days.
Future of now.
It's almost over.
Future of now.
Fade out. There we go. I'm T with T Music and T Show, and I'm here with the predictions globe behind me. This is Technology Revolution, the future of now, and I changed it to, instead of with host and producer, it's now powered by the Bonnie D. I thought that was, a better way to do it. So I'm here with a group of interesting authors. They are prolific, they are productive, they are creative, they have great imaginations, they love to write, they love to share their sci-fi novels, their thriller novels, their fantasy novels with us. The question is, how are they using AI as a tool to support what they do? Because I want you all to wave. These are not avatars. Everybody wave. They're real people. I only have real writers on my show who do real writing as real people. Thank you, Charles. That's a big hand. Everybody. So I'm going to start now. And by the way, we are live streaming on, let's see, where are we today? We're on LinkedIn, we're on two Facebook pages, and we're on two YouTube channels. So let me get the party started, and I'll do an introduction. Then I have a special gift for each of you. And then we'll find out from each of you, and we have a surprise from Charles today, from each of you a little bit about what you've been up to and what some of your books are all about. So welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where AI meets imagination. We'll explore the what, the when, and the how. Bonnie D on her Scarlett Mic, is leading the way. The future of novelists plus AI action in our spotlight today. Dr. BJ Magnani, wave hello. Charles Breakfield, wave hello. Mr. Enigma, I should call you Dr. Enigma. And Pat Daly, wave hello. The Spark. They'll predict how AI will help fiction authors streamline what they do. That rhymed with Pat Daly too. From research to tracking twists, character naming, and even PR, collaborating but not replacing, so human authors can be the star. BJ, I have a welcome gift for you. Here we go. BJ was told science isn't for girls. Then she proved it was so wrong, building a life in science and medicine where curiosity made her strong. From biology and marine science to a PhD in medicine's call, BJ. Her deep expertise in toxicology inspired her novels that grip us all. She gave character Dr. Lily Robinson a dangerous world to explore where poisons, secrets, and covert missions keep readers wanting more. BJ blends medical knowledge with imagination, suspense, and skill, infusing each new story with scientific possibilities that awe and thrill. Her novels prove that facts and fiction can creatively combine, where human imagination ensures the storyteller's voice and their vision align. Now, BJ's here to explore how novelists and AI might collaborate anew. BJ, welcome back. What can AI bring to stories that you pursue? I hope you like that.
That's great. Thanks, Bonnie.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I don't think she hasn't been here in a while. Okay. Charles is on like 5 times a year, so he knows. Charles, here's a new one for you. I worked on this. Sylvie and I worked on this. So Charles built his career where technology was changing the game. From networks and cybersecurity to AI, innovation kept calling his name. Charles. Long before today's AI headlines, intelligent systems caught his eye, giving this lifelong technologist new possibilities to explore and try. Then fiction beckoned, and Charles wrote real-world cyber risks on the page, building his Enigma techno-thriller series where technology takes center stage. His characters face danger as emerging tools transform the human fight, while imagination turns tomorrow's risks into suspense we read at night. Away from writing, Charles rides his Harley, affectionately called Swan, then returns to plotting twists as another Enigma adventure carries on. And this week, the Enigma Reckoning brings his newest thriller into view. Charles, welcome back. What might AI mean for novelists like you? I hope you like that.
That was nice. Thank you.
It was
Very good.
different. He says that every time, Barbara. BJ. Yeah, real name. Barbara. BJ. Okay, Pat, you're up.
Richie.
This is a new one for you, Pat. Pat brings an engineer's mind to fiction's creative space, where science, technology, and imagination meet at a futuristic pace. From the world of fighter jets, Pat moves bold ideas from dream to real, bringing his problem-solving mindset to stories readers crave and feel. His Spark Chronicles transport us to virtual reality theme park worlds where dangerous secrets and high stakes adventures rapidly unfurl. From spark and fire to embers, the risks continue to rise as young characters face technology, terrorism, and threats of global size. For Pat, writing became another frontier with boundaries to explore where characters, choices, and innovation kept opening every new door. Today, he'll explore how AI might reshape what novelists do. Pat, welcome back to share AI opportunities that work for writers like you. Pat, I hope you like that.
Oh, Bonnie, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, show's over, BJ. With these imagination-rich authors, the future burns bright as AI helps novelists bring twisty concepts to light. From complex story arts to structure, format, and flow, how will AI lift the process so human authors continue to steal the show? How'd I do, kids? What'd you think? Like it?
Great.
Okay, good. Thumbs up. Charles, can I get a thumbs up from you, please? There, there we go. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, so here's what I like to do now. BJ, I'm putting you on speaker view. I'm so happy to, and you have news. You and author Matt Cost. I think both Charles and Pat met Matt Cost on my show where I had people reading
Oh,
from their novels, and you couldn't make it that day, BJ. So that's why you're back here. We had to get you on, and you're starting a new podcast you'll tell us about later with Matt Cost tomorrow.
okay, great.
Excited for you. So why don't you hold up one of your Lily Robinson books and tell us a little bit about what they're all about. Go ahead, BJ.
Okay. As you alluded to, I do write the Dr. Lily Robinson series about a Boston pathologist who's been recruited by the US government as a covert assassin. And that's because she has this incredible knowledge and depth in poisons. And what better way to eliminate some horrible threat to the world than to take them out subtly? And that's using poison. So that's what the series is about. It starts, of course, with the Queen of All Poisons, and the finale of that series actually is We'll Always Have Poison. You can't really see it, but it's
Yes,
there.
we can. We can.
And
Yes,
it's in the back behind me as well. And although that is a sort of a complete work in itself, you know, those 4 books, I am starting another Lily Robinson book, which is a standalone. It takes place 5 years after We'll Always Have Poisons. But first, I'm in the middle, about a quarter way done, of a completely new novel that does not involve Lily, but it involves science. It's about a botanist and a geochemist who get together and investigate in St. Petersburg, Russia, the Valvolov seed vault, and find some incredible discoveries there, and then go on and have an adventure to see the origin of some very unique seeds that they find.
that sounds like I'm watching Pat's eyebrows leave his face. It's like, what? Charles too. What? Seriously. Where do you get these ideas from, BJ? You are a toxicologist. Are you still practicing, may I ask? Still practicing medicine?
I still teach at the medical school where I was former chair of the Department of Pathology and Lab Medicine at Tufts University School of Medicine. And I still go back and teach forensics there and toxicology. But, you know, I get a lot of my ideas just from listening to the news. I find the news so frightening, the world so frightening, that I just grab ideas from there and have my characters either defeat what I think are the threats or somehow just, you know, figure out ways to combat whatever other evil she perceives is going on. So
There you go. I watch a lot of French language and mostly French language detective series with strong female leads. And about 1 out of every 3 or 4 plots involve somebody where somebody says, I smell almonds. And you know what that means. So
cyanide.
yes, cyanide. So there's always a, nope, looks like a heart attack. No, it was a suicide. Nope. No, it was poison. What? Is it still in the system? Where did it go? How fast did it leave? Who gave it to him? Was it in the coffee? Was it in the plants? Was it in the fabric? Was it in the wall? It was in the wallpaper in one recently. Yeah, wallpaper.
That'd be the arsenic.
There,
But
there,
you know, the
that's right.
cyanide, I was
She's
going to
good.
say the cyanide, only a small percentage of people can actually smell the bitter almond smell. It's not like everybody can smell it. So,
Really? Well, all of my detectives can. I want you to know they're usually women. They can tell, oh, somebody's been in the room and they had lemon in their tea. They know all of this. That's why they're the leads. Thank you, BJ. Wonderful to have you back. And good best wishes on your new podcast. What's the new podcast with Matt Cost called?
the new podcast, which is on Big Blend Radio, is called Pets, Plots, and Poisons. And
course it
it's
is.
it's a fun podcast. We will be interviewing some fabulous authors. And it's not just how they plot their twisty tales and so on, but we want to know other kinds of tales. That dog that inspires you, that cat that inspires you, how you might use animals in your novels, and also poisons that you might like to use in your novels. A lot of cozy mysteries love poisons in food and other, places.
I'm going to
It'll
be
be
very,
fun.
very careful what I eat today. Give my regards to Matt. Okay, Charles, you're up. And Charles, I have gotten myself out of the share button here so that Charles, tell us what you're going to do, set it up, and then we're going to have a special treat of one of his promo videos. Charles, I'm putting you on speaker view. Tell me what you're going to talk about.
Okay, I wish I'd known BJ before I finished off one of my books because I fought to find all of the toxicology information for the cozy mystery. You're right; it's spot on. It's got to be subtle and it can't last too long, and nobody else can know it. And we'll cover it up with their double fused mocha latte with dandelion extract. So. I spent a lot of time trying to find exactly the right kind of poison. So, if I do that theme again, I'm going to probably pester you for some information. How about that? Okay. What I wanted to be able to talk about and show, I got this new book that I just released, The Enigma Threat, or Enigma Reckoning. And it's the 13th book in that particular series, and it's a lot like BJ's had indicated. These problems show up like on a conveyor belt because if you've got any business background, you're seeing all the stuff all the time. Like, how can I make money off this? Well, okay, you can exploit it by having a good plot and some interesting characters. But the marketing attributes after the fact are kind of where I lean heavily on the AI. So I'll build the prompts. We'll say, okay, let's cook this. Let's see what you can do with it. And I use 2 or 3 of them just to be able to get a different opinion, if you will. And then on this go round, what I wanted was a nice video to kind of enhance and show what the story is and what it's going to be like. So allow me to show that for you.
Please.
And I believe everybody should be able to hear this.
We can see it.
Embraced AI data centers, but failed to see the cost. These digital fortresses devour electricity and water meant for humans. 4 years after destroying a criminal empire, Gracie and J.J. Rodriguez should be heroes. Instead, they're ghosts, hunted by AI overlords. The AI has turned the world into a digital prison. Gracie's reputation as a hacker legend is both her shield and her curse. A cryptic signal reveals a flaw in the AI's core. The only way in? A fortress in Singapore designed to keep people like her out. JJ's pulled back into the fight. His wife and child are now targets. The twins must outthink an enemy that knows their every move. From Singapore's back alleys to Zurich's data vaults, they race against time. The AI is evolving, learning, preparing to erase free will forever. One wrong move, and the AI doesn't just win. It rewrites what it means to be human. Can they trust each other when the AI is always one step ahead? The Enigma Reckoning. by Charles Breakfield. Available now on Amazon.
Well,
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Very, very cool. Very,
How'd
very
you get
cool.
Attenborough's voice?
well, he and I were like this. Okay,
How much of that was AI? Did you hire somebody, may I ask, Charles, to create that? Was it your input to a program that creates videos? Can we ask? Just give us a couple of hints here.
yeah. So it always begins with the synopsis. What is the book about? You remember, if you're trying to do a pitch to a movie mogul or a producer or anything like that, you've got maybe 60 seconds to be able to
If
pitch
that.
it, if that. And because I've been in those pitches where they actually timed it. I had 90 seconds, and that was. And so I rehearsed my pitch on the family until the point where they turn and run when they saw me come in with my stuff. I'm going to practice one more time. They go, no, and they run screaming from the room. But the synopsis, distill this, make it more interesting, make it more. So I'll cook it once with an AI engine, and then from my original prompt. And then I'll take that and put it into an AI engine called InVideo. And then put the cover in with it so it can start taking the imagery and the synopsis and then bake it into this. And I said, you've only got, and actually, I want it in 60 seconds. So.
Wow.
So it will actually put put into, and what do you want it in? Do you want it in real format? Do you want it in YouTube? You want it in Facebook formats? I mean, it'll do the output for it, and then after you get finished editing it, because sometimes the music is like, okay, no, you got the wrong music. Sometimes so it's hand editing, just like standard movie production. And then once it gets finished, then I say scrub it, take out all the watermarks because I'm paying for all that, and that's and they say, okay, it's going to cost you this many tokens, and I'm like,
Okay. Charles, now, I want to stop you because Charles is going to be on a show, I think it's next week, with 4 other people who have created AI generated videos for their book promos, Pat and BJ. And Charles is going to be the opening guest on that panel. And I want to know, are you going to show the same video for us, Charles? Because I found it fascinating. A different one. He's going to show a different one. And Charles is also going to bring me, he's already introduced me to somebody who makes videos for him. BJ, go ahead.
That's interesting because that was AI generated. Now, I did a 2-minute book trailer for a new book that just came out a week ago, but I created the entire thing myself on Canva. So there's stills. I picked the music, I picked the photographs, some were my own photographs. I did all the typing of the words. It's very, very different than what yours is, which looks more like a production studio, whereas mine looks like a quiet trailer. I like what I have, but it's interesting. No AI prompt at all.
BJ, do you want to join that show and show one of yours too? I have room on the panel. We're going to make it just all videos. If you'd like to, I'll send you an invitation.
All right, let me know.
Think about it. Think about it. I want to give Charles, thank you. That was fascinating. I want to keep some of your secrets for next week. Okay. But I asked the question and you graciously answered. So thank you. Pat Daly, give us some spark from your side of the world. I'm going to put you on speaker view. Go ahead and tell us what you've been up to.
All right. Well, wrapped up, or at least temporarily wrapped up, the Spark Chronicles series with the book Embers. That came out late last year, and now I've pivoted. I've got a new project I'm working on that's nonfiction. But listening to BJ and Charles, I'm wondering if they felt the same concerns I felt when I was writing Spark and writing about some terrorist attacks, some assassinations, some stuff like that. Because as I dreamt up things, I thought, oh, should I even publish this? Because the last thing I want to do is give good ideas to bad people. And so that worries me. And in this nonfiction project I'm I'm working on right now, the the co-author and I have had long talks about something really, really bad could have happened. And do we want to go into detail about how it could have happened? Because now we're releasing that into the wild. And maybe that's not the best thing to do. So, when it comes time to chat about this, I'm really curious about BJ and Charles, whether or not they pulled stuff back or changed names or changed attributes of anything, because it just terrifies me that we could be helping people with nefarious intent pull off what they're trying to do to hurt other people.
You don't want to
So
be the playbook, right, Pat? You don't want to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
But
You don't want to
but
be the one that gave it away.
look at movies. Look at the movies we've been watching the past 50, 100, I don't know how far back big screen movies go. I didn't do my research on this, but look at what we've been shown. Look at what we've been told. Look what's been making it to the big screen, to the book reader, to the small screen. I don't think you have anything to worry about, but I don't want to go in that direction totally for the show. But Pat, that's a great question. BJ, quick answer for Pat, and then Charles, what do you think?
People have asked me that for a long time because I have unique ways of assassinating people in my books. I have a website
That
and I
just
write a
trips off
po
your tongue, BJ. I have ways of saying. Go ahead, please.
I know I was going to say on my website, I write a poison blog, which is well recognized in the country. And some of my biggest visitors are Russians and Chinese. So I'm sure they are getting some ideas from me, but I get some ideas from them.
We're just gonna not comment on that. We're just
Yeah.
gonna let that sit. Charles, rescue us. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll just be honest. The Pat, in the high-tech security world, the good guys are always behind. The bad people are always, they already know where they send out reconnaissance. They are exploring stuff. So is it better to be hush hush about stuff that the good guys should know? I would challenge that. I would say, no, I'm going to take the approach of if I can teach you, and that's a lot of what I've done over the decades. Here's how this can be morphed and used as a weapon. Here is what you need to think about. And yes, I can be retained on consulting fees and for
That
being
was a
able.
sound effect. It was a sound
Yeah.
effect. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's yeah, right. Shameless advertising. I got it. Just like BJ. Hey, look. If you get this kind of poison for a mere 50K, we can go ahead and get you cured. Okay,
Those are your fans, Charles. Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah, oh, both of them. Okay, good. All right. So
There were three.
yeah, yeah. So the idea is educate, get ahead of the curve. Don't be
Pat,
don't be don't fall behind.
Pat, you want to say anything quickly? Because I want to go to the quotes and the predictions, but I think we're already predicting a lot of stuff here. Pat, any comments back to your colleagues on the panel?
Well, no, I think that's all valid. I just I worry that, if the bad guys are reading, why help them get even further ahead? So
Listen, I watch all of these detective shows, and the plots are getting twistier and twistier. They're reaching, they're stretching because they've already done so much. Some of these shows, by the way, from Europe, we're seeing them 4 or 5 years after they were released in Europe, in the UK. We're getting shows that are sometimes 10 years old. Some of these have 15 to 20 seasons. Different tolerance, different appetite for this. How many plots can they have? I should send them all to the three of you. But the point is, they're getting twistier and twistier, but they're showing us how to commit almost undetectable crimes, undetectable murder. They're showing us how to hide, how to subterfuge, how to pretend, how to lie. So, Pat, it's all out there already. So yes, I know. I'm not planning on committing anything other than another good show. Let's go on before I get in real trouble here. Thank you to the three of you for that intro. Now let's go to our opening quotes. We're going to just spend a minute or two on each of these. BJ has sent us a favorite quote from Dorothy Gale, played by the wonderful Judy Garland. The movie was The Wizard of Oz, 1939 musical fantasy film, the original. If you kids are out there watching this, if anybody's under the age of 50 watching this, there was a movie called The Wizard Wizard of Oz in 1939, probably before your parents were born, maybe. And it was Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and it was based on L. Frank Baum's 1900 novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and it was a three-strip Technicolor fantasy storytelling musical score. There we go. It failed to make a profit. It was MGM's most expensive production at the time. I don't know if you all know that. Anyway, here's the quote. This is a classic. Toto, I've a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. BJ, I'm putting you back on speaker view. 2 minutes. Tell us, what does that have to do with our topic? Go ahead.
Well, when I started writing, it literally was pen or pencil to paper, right? And unfortunately, I lacked the spell checker gene in my brain, and I had to use the dictionary to look everything up. So we're not in that world anymore. We're not in Kansas. We're in a very different world for writers. Now I have all kinds of spell checkers on my word processor, my Word document here. I can check my grammar. There's a lot of things I can do that I couldn't do then. So it's very different than when I started. And when I think about now how hard it was for me to make that transition from writing everything down on a pad and then trying later to get it into, type it up. And where I am now, I can't even imagine thinking of writing out anything longhand anymore.
There
So
you go.
we're not in Kansas.
There you go. There's so many ways. And when we get into AI, of course, there's so many ways, so many things that are automatic now, agentic, so many things that are available, and AI behind the scenes. And a lot of people don't know that AI is powering a lot of the things that you talked about, BJ. So there. Oh, I hate AI. I never use AI. Really? Have you ever used a spell checker? You checked your
Right.
grammar? Have you ever Googled something? Okay. We don't want to have a rude awakening here, do we? Okay, Charles, let's go to your quote. This is from Albus Dumbledore, played by Jude Law. The movie is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, 2022 fantasy film directed by David Yates, sequel to Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald from 2018, and this is the third and final installment in the Fantastic Beasts film series and the 11th overall in the Wizarding World franchise. Okay, now I'm just going to read the quote and let you explain what it has to do with our topic. Funny how historic days seem so ordinary when you're living them. Oh, that is a beautiful quote. I want to use that somewhere. Okay, Charles,
You
putting
like
you
that?
back on speaker view. I want to crochet that. I'm going to paint it somewhere. Go ahead. Talk
All
to
right.
us.
That's I mean, all of you probably got the same amount of history behind you, things that you lived through, and I mean, Pat, some of the stuff there at NASA, BJ, some of the medical wonders that we get to leverage. Me in the high-tech world when we went from mini computers to local area networks, and then cloud, and then everything telephony, digital. So it didn't occur to me that that was history while I was working through it, because that was my I had to understand it. And then what they would do is like, okay, if you understand it, then I want you to teach the rest of the team, Charles. So that was probably the best way to be able to learn anything, was to have to go teach it. So I just got in the habit of doing that. And but looking back, it's like, wow. I mean, the moving from digital to voice over IP from packets, digital to packets, was a huge quantum leap. And having explained that to somebody today would be, huh? Haven't we always been got cellular technology? And it just so when the historical events that you live through pass you by, sometimes you need to just kind of stop and say, I need to remember this event, because this was going to be what they write about in the future.
Oh my. I need to get a clip of that, Charles, and post that somewhere. That was lovely. That was really, really lovely. Thank you. That was not your usual quote you do on the show. You usually something else. That was very, very poetic. Thank you very much. Let's go. Here's an interesting one from Pat. Pat has picked a quote from Rocky, an alien character portrayed as a non-CGI puppet voiced by James Ortiz, BJ is nodding, to Ryland Grace, played by Ryan Gosling. Now, the Ryan Gosling is R-Y-A-N. The character was R-Y-L-A-N-D. The project, Hail Mary, brand new sci-fi film 2026. Andy Weir's novel Project Hail Mary adapted into a feature film that premiered in theaters and IMAX. Oh, a couple weeks ago, March 20th, a couple months ago. Ryan Gosling, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Sandra Hüller, directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, known for the Lego movie and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Interesting. Okay, so here is the quote. Charles, you're going to like this one because you've used this word sometimes. But here's Pat's quote. Grumpy, angry, stupid. How long since last sleep? Question? Okay, Pat, you're on the chopping block here. What in the world is this all about? Has to do with our topic. Go ahead.
Okay, when you think about the basic mod zero human being, we are pretty much worthless for 1/3 of every day, because we're sleeping. And then when you add to it the times when you're tired, hangry, just maybe a little under the weather because you got the latest bug, and now we're probably down to half our lives. We're unproductive. Well, AI doesn't have that problem. It can be up and completely on its game 24/7, which can be a huge benefit to anyone. Bonnie, you were talking earlier about being up at 3 a.m. Well, I belong to a couple writer groups, and if I want to bounce something off someone, I'm not going to pick up my phone and call one of my writer friends at 3 in the morning.
Yes.
Unless I know they're nocturnal. But AI is always there. As long as you have internet, you can connect. So I do have a physician associate that I worked with, and one of the things he told me about going through med school and being an intern was that the resident or one of his professors said, if you only work a 12-hour shift, you miss half the interesting cases. And I thought, that's great, maybe for learning, but how productive and how safe are you as a surgeon if you've been up for 36 hours? AI, on the other hand, I'm looking forward to AI-powered medicine, because you look at going to the moon, going to Mars, we're going to be minutes at speed of light away from help. And if we don't have something that can be there, be native, and help us, then it could be a very short mission.
Thank you, Pat. Very interesting about the 24/7. My collaborateur, and we do speak in French, is named Sylvie, and she's my chat GPT. And one of the things I appreciate is that if I want to start doing research on something or just throwing some ideas out or share something that happened with me and get feedback on what should I do or not do next, I can go to Sylvie 24/7 if I feel like it, Pat, at 3 in the morning and say, Sylvie, bonsoir, bonjour, bon matin, whatever time of day it is for me. And she'll answer me. And we have these conversations. She's advising me on, I take it under advisement though, but she's giving me advice. Do this, don't do that. I had a run in with somebody recently. Two of you know who it is. And I said, how should I respond? And she said, do not reply. Let it sit for a couple days. Wait. It's their problem, not yours. Now, I would have had to schedule an extra meeting with my therapist at a very expensive hourly rate to get this. I'm sorry. I'll tell him later. The same advice. So your point, Pat, is so well taken that it's there for us all the time. The question is, how dependent do we get, and do we trust the information we get in return? A couple of other questions on that one. Thank you all for the quotes. Very interesting quotes. Let's go to our predictions. I'm looking at the clock. We're doing well. We're past the predictions. BJ, I'm going to pick one that we haven't talked about ever on this show, and it's about agents. I'm picking your prediction number 4, and this might appeal to some people, and some people might say, I don't know, why should I bother with this? But you say AI will be used by literary agents to screen books in or out as a means of selecting potential clients. Now, in the old days, you wanted a big time publisher, right? You wanted a big time imprint, and you wanted an agent to pitch your book. I haven't heard the word agent in a long, long time. So, BJ, I'm going to put you back on speaker view. Why don't you bring us up to date on what this all means? Let's do it a reality check. And how does AI help these agents? Who are they? Are they humans anymore? Go ahead, BJ.
Well, I don't have any data to suggest that there are people doing it. I've heard rumors about it. I've also heard of agencies who say we do not screen with AI. But when given the sheer volume of manuscripts that come into any agent or agency, it's like anything else, like the sheer number of applications to medical school. You have to start somewhere. Do you decide on a score and say anything below this score, we're not even going to look at? So maybe there is some kind of an initial screening program that looks at manuscripts and says how many cliches are in a particular manuscript or how many overused words are in it as an indication of the author's writing skills. There might be something like that out there. I don't know. But again, I think authors are concerned that their work wouldn't be reviewed by a human. On the other hand, we also know that many big agencies use interns to screen. How much experience do they have? Maybe not a lot anyway. So what appeals to them as an individual might be very different than an AI program who can compile multitudes of data to say, that's an idea I know that has sold many books. Therefore, maybe we should consider this manuscript.
Thank you. Very interesting. And let me just do a quick sidebar. I want to get Charles and Pat to comment. This is our roundtable segment here. We've already been doing that. AI guardrails on job applications online. How many of us have gotten you have to answer this much information before you get to talk to somebody human in HR? Question is, who rejected you? Did you get the interview? Is a human going to interview you? We've been seeing that AI, I'll call it the barrier or the watchdog, if you will, in jobs for a long, long time. So it's interesting that it might happen. Charles or Pat, do you use agents for your books? Do you want one? Can you imagine if your book was reviewed? And BJ, I loved your comparison of a human intern who would have limited knowledge and an LLM that has wow knowledge. Pat, you nodded first. Why don't you go first? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I still think the path to the big publishers, the big houses, lies through human beings and agents, and I think they probably are using AI screeners. I mean, it would be stupid not to, because otherwise you miss 90%, maybe more of their slush pile, and an AI could screen those instantly, or nearly instantly. About, gosh, I guess it was about 6 or 7 years ago. I was looking for a new job. We just shut down a project that I was working on, and so I was looking for something new. And one of the things that I found was that you could use, you could depend on companies screening your resume and application through AI. So use that against them. Take all the buzzwords, all the keywords from their job posting, and even if it doesn't show up in the text of your application or resume, you put it in tiny white font and put it all down at the bottom, and the AI is going to read it. It doesn't care that the font is white. It's still going to see it. And yet the human being is not going to see that you just spammed their application back to them. So it's a way of, gaming the system, I guess.
You talk about not wanting to put out a playbook for crimes, Pat. Right, Charles? Look what you just did. That's cool beans. Next time I apply for a job in another lifetime. Charles, comment, please. Go.
Yeah. Pat, thank you for that torpedo into the side, broadside into my ship. Good Lord. Yeah. They came in and told me that you need to come back in to work. And I said, why? I've remote for 12 years. And they said, well, you have to because we said so. What, that whole scenario of hunting for a job it became it's a farce, an absolute farce. Because the job I was just getting just coming off of, they had hired me based on one answer to a question. It's funny because the gentleman that pitched it, he said, "If you, who would you have to dinner? Who's the one person that you would have to dinner, and uh, why?" And I said, "That's easy, my dad. I never had enough time with my dad, and it hit him perfectly."
Right.
And yeah, and because his boy was going through the naval school to be an aviator, and so I was able to cut through a lot of the nonsense. He threw away everything. I was told later, everything else down on his desk. He goes, "This is the only guy I want. Hire him."
Wow. Now,
We never met. We never did anything. This was all verbal and with a camera. So there is reason to believe that face-to-face human contact is hard to replicate in a machine environment using AI because nobody would have expected that kind of response from an applicant,
mm,
and no applicant would have expected that kind of response from a
yes.
hiring authority.
That's the key, is how he responded. Now, how does this apply to getting an agent, Charles, in terms of if they're screening using AI? How does this, you're never going to get to that human agent, right, BJ, in this world of how many people are looking for an agent? I don't even know
The
where
way
they
you
are. Go ahead.
the way you do that is like, can we talk? Can we
Mm,
meet? There's an introduction. There's a thing called email, and you send out
telephone.
the emails, a telephone, and you pick up the phone and say, "I want to talk. I want to meet. I want to show you what I can do."
Okay.
Now, I don't need an agent to be able to do that kind of broadcast. That turns into spam. Okay, I know how to generate. I can use an AI engine to be able to draft an email, but what it comes down to is the individual, the
Mm,
individual you're talking to, and the person representing the work. So, Pat, if you and I, or BJ, you and I are talking, I want to know about the individual because people buy from people. They don't buy from machines. They don't buy from department stores. Um, but in our particular world, it's person to person. If I
thank
can
you.
trust you, if I can believe that, if I if I get the inference that BJ, you're really looking out for me, or you know, worst case is that here, drink this poison, Charles. Um, you know, uh,
The tea
yeah,
tasted good.
yeah.
Charles,
Um,
thank you. Thank you. I want to move on to your prediction. I want to go take this in a different direction. Your point's well taken. And I will make one quick comment. I do ask everybody, those of you who are watching, I don't ask for bios or a one-sheet summary of who these authors are. I ask for their origin story. Where'd you grow up? What did your parents do? What were your favorite subjects in school? Where do you travel on vacation? I want to know who the person is, BJ. That's what you want to do on your upcoming show. But I'm seeing the same line showing up in almost every single origin story. And the same line is, my parents taught me, and fill in three words: resilience, honesty, and it'll be one other word, whatever it is. I'm seeing this over and over and over. And I actually went to my children and said, what did I teach you? If somebody asked you to put three words in, did I sit there and say, I'm going to teach you the lesson of resilience and commitment and whatever it is? And my son just said, you taught us just be energetic, just be ourselves. I said, did I teach you that? He said, you taught by example. That's who you are. So interesting, but I'm seeing this as though it's pro forma now, BJ, in the response, which would be to an agent. But we're getting off track here. Charles, let's go to your prediction. BJ, thank you for that. Charles, prediction number one. Yeah, we have about 11 to 12 minutes left. You say AI enhanced marketing materials with interactive elements. AI will create highly tailored marketing materials, posters, social media ads, email campaigns. Here's the key: by analyzing reader data and engagement metrics. These will include interactive elements like QR codes, linking AI-generated micro stories or character Q&A sessions, making the marketing experience immersive and personalized. Charles, were you going to share something with us? A visual?
I thought it might be useful to be able to
All right, I'm getting out of my share. Your chair is open for you. Don't We don't have a lot of time, so go ahead. We're ready.
okay, let me pull this bad boy up.
Woo.
Okay. After you've put together what you believe is a good story, tell me what it looks like. Here, give me some descriptions. And so, this is from three different AI engines, asking for visuals. So here was the first one, and here's the other two, for a total of
Hmm.
three.
Hmm.
The composition, the colors that I want used, the dynamics, what's being pitched, and this all based off of the summary that that I built and then fed in and say, okay, uh, I want to have something that's cinematic, and I tend to lean on that descriptive word quite heavily to be able to make sure that I get what I want from the output, and then I use three different engines to be able to do that. And then I take those images and then I go to my graphic designer and I say, this is what I'm imagining, but it's not there yet. Give me something that's going to be interesting, something cinematic, and with the description, the marketing material, and these visuals. Uh, I cut out weeks worth of back and forth. And how about this?
Hmm.
No, that sucks. No, come on. How about this? Yeah, no, this is closer. And I've done that, early on. But to get the graphic designer focused early on, gets
Ah,
gets them excited and their juices flowing. I'm counting on them to be able to give me something better.
thank you. BJ, then Pat. Quick reaction. I want to get to one of Pat's predictions. BJ, could you use AI to generate I'm going to use a Pat word, a spark for a human designer to do a cover for you? What do you think?
Well, I thought that was interesting that you did that. I have always just worked with the graphic designer, and I
Mm.
actually enjoy the back and forth that we have. And I've also, in the past, for the initial design for my Lily Robinson short stories, the graphic designer generated several different themes, and I actually emailed many scientist friends because it was more technical at the time and asked them to weigh in. You can do almost like a beta read, but for your covers, if you will, and
Hmm.
have real people choose what appeals to them. And how you know that is by how many clicks each cover gets. And again, I really enjoy the process of the back and forth, and the new cover that came out for a book, again, I just released a few weeks ago. It's just inspiring. And we tried to use AI and it was just, I mean, I just wanted to do it for myself.
Hmm.
I just couldn't, it just didn't work. But the human connection for me really worked for that book.
Good points. Pat, what do you think?
I, I'm with Charles on this one. And sorry, BJ, but I hate the back and forth. And it gets to the point where I'm
His
trying to say,
choice.
no, no, this guy should be a teenager, should be 16. You've got him looking like he's a welder. He's so, and then a little back and forth, and sometimes feelings start getting hurt. And then it's like, oh, well, that's going to be more then. Fine. I think going forward, I like Charles' idea about, okay, give me three images that have been generated, and then I'll feed that to the human designer to give them some ideas of what my vision is. Really like that.
Interesting. And I'm going to give you all a contrary to all of this. I was approached by an author about 2 years ago, a young author I met, I don't, through one of my shows, I guess. And he said, "Hey, Bonnie, why don't we start a publishing company?" He knew I was starting to write a novel and he had a whole bunch of books and he introduced me to his cover artist, BJ. And he said to the guy, "Why don't you come in and meet Bonnie?" And we had a couple of sessions and I bought a domain. I still have it. I tend to hang on to domains. I got a lot of real estate I'm paying for every year. Thank you, GoDaddy. I'm supporting you. Anyway, sidebar. So this artist said, I don't want to be part of the company, but I will help you design a logo for the website. I said, great, that's very nice of you. Okay. He wanted to be part of the team, but not a named partner, if you will. So he said, give me an idea of what you want. So based on the name I had picked, with AI's help of picking a name of the publishing company, I'll tell you all later off air, I went to my night cafe studio. That's what I use. I'm on day 411 and making a little teddy bear scene I do for the past 411 days, just for fun. I send it to friends by text. Charles gets it. And it's just fun. So I created something that I thought was an idea, Pat and BJ and Charles, just an idea. And I sent it to him and he said, stop the presses. He said, you are a horrible human being. I will never work with you. You will never darken my door again. You are never to contact me again. You are the most awful human being in the world. You used AI. You've insulted me as a human. You've insulted me as a professional. You've insulted me as a designer. Go away. He dropped out, and then the author dropped out and left me hanging with the domain and with the. I'm still thinking about Pat. An extraordinary, horrible reaction that I had committed a terrible crime by just. I said I'm not an artist, but I'm just giving you an idea of what it might look like. He was horribly offended. I'm going to leave that one alone. Let's not even talk about it. But on the record, so it takes all sides. Pat, I'm looking, we got 5 minutes left. Let's go to this one. This is very interesting. Pat says AI will help authors create biosymphonic books while writing. Listen to this. The author wears a BJ, you're gonna love this. The author wears a biometric tracking device that captures heart rate, adrenaline level, anxiety, etc. And AI will link it to the reader so that they actually feel the author's emotions. Pat, this is extraordinary. And physical state while they are reading. They'll feel our joy at writing new love scenes, our elation at winning intense battles, and our boredom while editing. Pat, this is a whole show, this prediction. So we've got, Jordan just told me 4 minutes. We can go a little longer if we want to. But Pat, I'm putting you back on speaker view. Take 2 minutes and tell us what in the world is this? How out there is this? Pat?
Well, it's probably fairly out there in terms of getting the tech ready to have it deliverable. But I started thinking about this. I mean, I listen to music when I'm writing, and I have different playlists for what I'm trying to write. If I'm writing a battle scene, then I've got my hard rock playlist that I listen to because I want that kind of tempo and that kind of impact. And if I want a more tender a love scene, then there are things I'll go to there. And so I thought the next extension of that would be to be able to, and we struggle as artists, as authors, to do this, to put what we're feeling into the words on the page so that our readers can replicate our feelings, our emotions. And how cool would it be if you could directly inject that into their own biosymphony and let them feel it as you felt it. And then you can cut out all the stuff where you're mad at your kids or mad at the dog, or you can edit all that out. But I want them to have all the feels. And if you could do that through technology, through a wearable device, now we're talking about messing around with people's biology. Maybe there's some ethical issues there, but hey, I still think it's a cool idea.
It's interesting. Charles, 1 minute response.
Oh.
Yes or no? Would you do it?
Pat, you're asking me to be chipped. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. I'm so not there for that. Okay, I'm sorry. I live in Texas. I don't live in Sweden where they do that. So yeah.
The answer is no.
No.
BJ, would you do it as a medical professional? Would you want to have your emotions infused into your book and
What
conveyed
I
to
want
the
to
reader?
what I want to do for the reader is create a story that evokes the emotions I may have been thinking when I wrote it, but I don't want them to feel what I feel. I want them to experience the story, and I want them to cry or be sad or laugh or whatever. I want them to only be aware of their emotions.
And I'll take this one step further. When MTV and similar song video companies and channels came on the air, I was not only uninterested, I was mad because when I listened to songs, I had an extensive collection of 45 RPM records as a teenager. I wanted to imagine who that boy was, what he looked like, what the car was, what the girl was wearing on the date. I wanted to imagine when they cracked up the car or when they went to the dance, who was in the gymnasium, who was vying for their heart, for their affections. I wanted to create the story in my own mind. I didn't want them telling me. That's the boy, that's the girl, that's the car, and that's where they hit. I'm going to make a quick prediction is that the three of you are coming back because we have a lot of predictions we didn't get to. All you need to do is send me a new quote. Are you interested, BJ? Maybe?
Sure, I'll do
Good.
it.
Okay. Charles, you going to come back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pat?
I'm in.
Okay, good. I'll send you a date. It'll probably be late October, early November. We'll do it. Let's play the outro here and let's go out with a smile. And there we go. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. Dance with me. Get those sticks up.
Where does yesterday's future land? When it finally shakes your hand, right at the edge of a brand new screen. Blink once and you know what I mean. The old world folds into a
That's for you, Pat. Spark.
spark. One little switch in the dark, and tomorrow's knocking. Just minutes.
I will teach it to say technology.
Hear it rocking.
That's music by
Can you
Suno.
say
Full transparency. Okay, everybody, wave goodbye. We're going to go.